I have just gotten back from a pretty crazy experience. Um, I'm gonna delete all the videos where I'm being a complaining Andy that I took earlier today, and just something smells bad. Who cares? And I'm just gonna focus on this video. So, it smells like cheese. What's cheesy? There should be no cheese. Whatever. I'm just gonna focus on this video. So, I might seem kind of out of it right now. That's because I've been awake for, let's see, I don't even know how to fucking calculate that. I've been awake for a very long time. Been awake for a very long time. Hold on. I'm gonna see if Google can answer my questions. I could probably just count, actually, now that I think about it. But, I don't know how to fucking count. Yeah, not to count. Sorry, this is gonna get interesting, but trust me. Okay, I'm just gonna count it. This will be 24, 25, 26, 27, 20. Bro, that was so easy. It was 28 hours. Why did I? This is how fucked. I've been awake for 28 hours. No, I've been awake for longer than this. My max is 32, I think. 34, something like that. But either 32 or 34. But this is, like, 28 is a pretty high number. It's actually probably slightly longer than that. It's a bit longer than that. But it's about 28 hours, 28 and a half hours. And what have I been doing for all this time? What have I been doing for 28 and a half hours? Well, me and my friend, Young Sai, had tickets to go to an all-night movie marathon. Fortunately, I woke up at 5 in the fucking morning, so I was awake all the way from 5 in the morning on one day to currently 9:30 the next day. And, it's doing my head in, but, I mean, it's doing me jobs. My vape broke, or something's weird with it. Something's weird with my vape. At least it was. Let's see. Might be okay now? I don't know, but either way, don't worry about that. What matters here is movies. This is what I wanted to talk about. I saw 5 movies in a row, back to back to back to back to back. Okay, and here were those movies in direct order. I feel like this is great content, right? Like, super fucking sleep deprived reviewing 5 movies. It was a cult movie marathon at a cinema, all night cult movie marathon at a cinema, and it was The Warriors, Repo Man, El Topo, Eraserhead, and Phantom of the Paradise. So let's go, and I had never seen any of these movies before. I was experiencing all of them for the first time. I know. What? You never watched Eraserhead? You call yourself a David Lynch fan? Yeah, I never watched Eraserhead. Okay, but now I have, so you can't even really come at me, because not only have I now watched it, but I've watched it on big screen at a cinema. It's probably a better experience than when you watched it. So fuck you, bitch. Stupid bitch coming at me. Fuck you. Don't ever say that shit again to me. Right. So let's go through the movies one by one, because I have some. These are the things that I want to say about the movies. So starting off, The Warriors, first movie we watched. I thought it was great. The quality of the film stock was pretty poor, but that added to the experience. It had lots of like scratches and like distortions. It was very very purple looking, the whole thing, but that kind of added to it. Now, I thought I'd actually seen the Warriors before going into this. I was like, I've already seen the Warriors, but then I realized watching the film, I haven't actually seen the Warriors. I don't know what I was thinking. Warriors, great fucking movie. Loved it. Um, great movie. Um, it's extremely entertaining. Some parts are entertaining in ways that maybe the directors didn't intend them to be entertaining, but they're still entertaining, especially when you got a whole crowd laughing together. Like the jokes in the movie are all funny, but also just like the whole crowd laughing every time someone says like a slur that was okay to say in the 70s but is not okay to say anymore. It's like funny. Uh, and then it's just a great movie. Like just like the costumes are fucking insane and hilarious. Um, the action scenes are like really good WWE fights or something. Like they feel like pro wrestling in a good way. Um, it it's like it's fast paced. Like you're kind of on the edge of your seat. It doesn't overstay its welcome. The only problem really with the movie is the ending, which kind of feels rushed and out of nowhere. But it's also I would rather it be quick and then it's over with because the main bulk of the movie is done by then. Like I would rather they just get it over with quick and end the movie rather than drag it out into some long fucking protracted thing that would take away from the experience. So yeah, that's fine. Um, but yeah, great entertaining movie. Um, yeah, highly recommend. Next movie, my favorite of the ones that I watched was Repo Man. I've been I've been wanting to watch Repo Man for many years, but I tried to find it once to watch it and I couldn't find it. I couldn't find a place where I could find it to watch. Maybe I didn't look that hard, but I couldn't find it, and so I never watched it. But now I've watched it, and it's a fucking great fucking movie. It's so good. It's so fucking funny. It's so funny and amazing. I can't impress upon you enough how good Repo Man is. It's just a hit like it just it just hits every beat it's going for perfectly. It's so well cast. It's so well acted. It's so well shot. It's like janky, but like it knows it's janky and it plays into it, and it's like really funny satire. Um, I fucking loved Repo Man, man. Fucking loved that movie. That was a great experience. Watching it in the cinema, everyone's laughing. Everyone's laughing along at the funny parts. Cinemas are actually good, it turns out. But okay, I don't even know where to begin with Repo Man, especially because I kind of don't want to give spoilers, but also like I'm also just delirious from tiredness, so it's kind of hard to like articulate myself as to what I liked about the movie. But I just really fucking liked it. I thought it was like hilarious from start to finish, and also on top of being hilarious, also like just very well produced and well executed. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't. It was basically a flawless fucking film. Right. Next one, going from the best straight into El Topo. Worst movie. Maybe one of the worst movies I've ever seen. But actually, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe it just went over my head, but I'm pretty sure if that's the case, it went over the entire crowd of like movie cinephile head because no one seemed to like. It's the only movie. After every movie, everyone clapped except for fucking El Topo, where the movie ended and no one clapped for like a good maybe 40 seconds, and then someone started clapping. Like no one really wanted. Like the movie just drags on, and it's fucking nonsense. It doesn't make any fucking sense, but like not in a cool way even. Like it just doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't have anything to say. Like it's not like I'll talk about Eraserhead in a second, right? Like Eraserhead was the next movie afterwards, right? Which is also like a very abstract, like sounds and visuals and stuff, right? And not really so much of a strict story plot traditional type of thing. It's more of a gestural tone piece, right? But Eraserhead is fucking great because it feels coherent. It feels like it has some direction to it. Like it's setting up this. It doesn't have to make sense, right? No, movies don't have to. You're allowed to make abstract, artsy movies, but it has to be. It has to have something to say. It can't just be fucking throwing artsy shit, like artsy looking shit for no reason, which is what I felt like all that El Topo had going for it, right? Like if I had to pin down messages, all I can think of is like vague something about sex. Man, Hodorowski's so fucking horny. He's so horny. Stop, stop. It's just weird. I don't care. I don't like it. Stop. And then something about Jesus, and it didn't make. There was no coherence to it. Like there was no. It didn't feel like someone was trying to express a vision. It just felt like someone was throwing shit together for no fucking reason, but not even in a cool way. Just like in a, like it would be in a cool way if it lasted, if it was that, like Inland Empire kind of feels like that, right? Like it's just like a bunch of kind of disconnected clips, but like it works because it's kind of short and it's kind of fast paced. For this shit lasts for fucking like it's like 2.5 hours long. It's stupid. There's an incest cave. There's a fucking incest cave in the movie, right? Like it's sort of there's I don't know why this is okay. Like the first like half an hour of the movie, there's just a naked child just on screen, just dick out. I don't know why that's okay to show. Like that's fucking weird. I think it's Hodorowski's son that played that role, and Hodorowski plays the main character in the film. Um, but man, that was weird. That I didn't like that. Did not like that one bit. That was fucked. That was fucking weird. Um, not justified in the text at all. Um, um, I don't even fucking know. There was one good scene, and the good scene I thought was really good scene. There was one, okay, maybe not really good. There was one pretty good scene in the movie, which is a scene in a church where they're all chanting like Jesus will protect us or whatever, God will protect us, and handing around a revolver and playing Russian roulette. Except the sort of scam priest person has switched the real bullet for a blank, so even if it hit the blank bullet, no one would actually get injured. But he's scamming them, right? He's like, and every time they do it and it goes click, he goes, "It's a miracle," right? And then the based actual Christian priest, underling priest guy comes along, and he like openly switches the blank bullet for a real bullet, and then does it because God really is protecting him. And then that was cool. And then he hands it to a child, and the child dies. The child gets shot and killed, and that was fucking sick. The rest of the movie sucked. I can't even. I just wanted it to be over. I just wanted it to be fucking over. It 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 was just nothing. It was just nonsense. It was just fucking. It was just it just had nothing to it. It was just fucking nothing. Things just happen and they don't mean anything. And they don't serve any purpose. And sometimes they look cool, but most of the time they look like nothing special. Just events just happen disconnected from each other. Like there's a plot, right? There is actually a plot. This is one of the almost maybe one of the problems with the movie is how like the movie does always come back to this central plot. The central plot doesn't make any fucking sense, but it always comes back to this plot, and as well as not making any sense, it's also a bad plot, and it's like poorly paced and poorly executed. Like it's like they smashed 3 different movies together, only one of which was like, and like two, it's like they smashed 3 movies together. The first 2 movies are the prequel and sequel to each other, and the third movie is a completely fucking different movie from the first 2. The plot of El Topo is the coolest cowboy guy in the Spain with his naked son on his back goes to town and finds that everyone has been slaughtered. Then he hunts down all the guys that killed everyone and he kills them. Revenge plot. Neat. Except that lasts for like 15 minutes and then it's done. Like he just kills them. And then, oh, by the way, they're doing weird shit. There's some super fucking weird shit that goes on when he kills the last group of bad guys. Like, the weird, horny Hodorowski shit that is just, I don't even know if I can talk about it on YouTube. It's that weird. But in that group is a girl. The girl then comes with him and is like, I'm not going to be with you unless you're proven to be the best shooter in the whole world. There are 4 masters of shooting in this desert. Defeat them all in combat and then I'll be with you. So, main guy goes around the desert for possibly literally years. It's not, the timescale's blurry, which is kind of neat, right? And like, this sounds cool. The problem is that none of this is like, it's like that revenge story that I explained. That's a whole movie. That's a whole western. That is not, like, what actually happens is you get like the explanation of what's about to happen, then you get 20 minutes of just people making weird noises and doing weird things, right? Often sexual in nature, and then main guy just bursts in out of nowhere and shoots them all in like an instant with like no, and it's not like well shot. It's not an interesting fight scene. There's nothing to it. He just shoots them. And it's not even that there's nothing to it in an interesting way. You can tell that he's trying to make it so there's something to it, but there's nothing to it. All of these duels are the same. The idea being that in each duel, like, he's not actually the best guy in the world. Like, he's not as good as any of these other guys. So he has to find some way to cheat all of them. Except none of them are like interesting, clever ways to cheat. It's just like the most basic tricks fucking ever. Like, distract the guy and then shoot him. Shit like that. Like, it's just stupid. And each one simultaneously goes on for way too long and is also the actual interesting part doesn't last nearly long enough. Like, they just skip over all the interesting stuff to do like 20 minutes of, I don't even know, dialogue, barely, weird imagery, mostly, meaningless shit. Oh, the rabbits. Guy's on a rabbit farm, comes back later. Oh, the rabbits are on fire now. Why? This fucking doesn't make any sense. It's so stupid. And then he dies, gets resurrected because he's Jesus, I guess. But he gets resurrected. This is now the 3rd movie that's in this one movie. He dies and then gets resurrected as a god, but shaves all his hair off his face and eyebrows and head. And he respawns in an incest cave full of incest babies. And then he decides to dig a tunnel. So he goes to the town, and the town is like the degenerate town. I don't know if it's supposed to represent Sodom or something. It's a town of the bad people town. And then the bad people town people do bad people stuff for like an hour, and that's the movie. And then eventually everyone dies. It's fucking stupid. It's fucking stupid and meaningless. I'm sorry. There's no like. I hated this movie. Right, Eraserhead was great. Eraserhead was fucking omega unsettling. Some of the best sound design I've ever heard in a movie. Some of the best lighting I've ever seen in a movie. Like, use of creative lighting I've ever seen in a movie. Also batshit insane and doesn't make any fucking sense. But you get, like, it's not about making sense. It's like dreamlike, like all of Lynch's stuff. But even for a Lynch film, it's like, especially, it doesn't feel like any of his other films, while still it simultaneously could only ever have been made by David Lynch, and also doesn't feel like any of his other films. You've probably all seen Eraserhead, I don't need to explain it to you, but I like that movie. And then finally, was Phantom of the Paradise, which I'd never heard of before. I'd heard of all of these other ones. Never heard of Phantom of the Paradise before. It's a Brian De Palma movie. It's a rock opera adaptation of Phantom of the Opera slash kind of Faust. And I thought it was okay. Youngsai really liked it. It's one of his favorite movies, apparently. I liked some of it, but I also didn't like other parts of it. Mainly, the big part I didn't like out of it is it's a musical, and the music fucking sucks in my opinion. I did not like a single song in the entire movie, but I have to give it credit for being batshit insane. I have to give it credit for like incredible casting, especially the lead actor like carries the entire fucking movie on his performance. Um, and like other than the music being bad, the sound design is otherwise excellent. The like it just looks great like throughout. Obviously, like it. If you've seen other Brian De Palma movies, like he's a good director. He knows how to frame a shot and he knows like editing and stuff. Like he knows how to direct a movie. And yeah, that was my experience at the cult movie marathon. I think most of this video has just been complaining about El Topo because it honestly kind of killed the vibe. Repo Man was such an amazing high, and then followed by such a low low, where like you could, it was so the atmosphere in the cinema just died after El Topo. Like it just everyone just seemed to like came out of it worse off. It just just killed the vibe. And then to follow it immediately up with Eraserhead, which I don't think anyone disliked. Like from like talking to the other people that were there and hearing their conversations, everyone was praising Eraserhead highly as they should have been, but the vibe never recovered. From what I saw at least, the vibes never recovered from El Topo. Weird choice. They should have put some other weird cult movie. Like imagine if they put Belladonna of Sadness instead. That would have been a good. If I was in charge of the cinema, I would have put Belladonna of Sadness instead of El Topo. But anyway, there's movies.